100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 We feeling the urge, feeling the purge. Buzzes electric, we feeling the surge. Feeling the words, killing the birds with immunity.
Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Productions. This your host, Brother Rich. I want to allow the sister sitting next to Blue Bill to introduce herself to the family.
It's not Blue Bill. I was gonna let the
Blue Bill, Melanin Bill, that Green Bill, that, higher consciousness Bill. That's what it is. The Blue Bill.
Okay, introduce yourself.
Bill. Yes, Ella Samory here, New York City's best psychic medium. So that's who I am, basically. I'm a psychic medium. I channel, and channeling is basically communicating with the spirit realm and providing, messages to my clients. I also provide holistic nutritional consultation. This on? We on? Oh, okay. I also provide, nutritional consultation as well, because I feel like the nutrition aspect also plays a role in spirituality, right? If you're eating dead food, or if you're not eating food that are compatible with your body, then how can you ascend on a spiritual level? So that's just who I am as an introduction.
Very rarely do people make that connection. You know what I'm saying? When I come, like I just came from Atlanta, and you can kind of like see the indoctrination. You can see that people are pretty much like inhabited by spirits, and you can see the correlation between them walking around looking like that and their diet. Normally there's specific places that you can go to, like, the Piggly Wigglies of the world, or 2 in the morning, church chicken and stuff like that. It's just an energy that's always around these places. I think that somebody made a point to say, you normally don't hear about people getting stuck up outside of vegan restaurants and things of that nature. All of that stuff goes down in very low frequency establishments where they sell these foods that are dying under circumstances that are not conducive to that animal's well-being. So if something was to jump into that animal, it's going to happen through the fear, it's going to happen through the filth, it's going to happen through all of the contamination, and then the people are intaking these things, and it's becoming one with their cell bodies, and now these people looking like the Walking Dead. So, I don't know if anybody out there makes those particular correlations, but am I lopsided in making that assessment?
No, absolutely not. Because if we believe in reincarnation, see, this is the thing, right? People say, oh, we have been reincarnated. This is an old soul. This baby, it seems, especially the new babies that are being born now, they are very highly, in tune with, their surroundings. So if you say that, you believe in reincarnation, why don't you believe in the concept that a spirit or animal spirit is also within you? As they say, you are what you eat. So if you eating dead carcassoids or dead flesh, or your body is not a cemetery. That's what I say. If you believe that your temple is God, then you should not be putting garbage inside of your temple. Temple and garbage doesn't even, that equation don't even add up, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? So in any event, if many of us are looking to get like this, higher consciousness and spirituality and things of that nature, I definitely recommend a more lighter, and live type of diet. Another interesting thing is, as I mentioned, I channel. So when people come to me for like spiritual consultations, they also ask me about, the diet. So I do feel like a lot of people are resonating with healthy eating, in any event. So
What is it about psychics that, I dealt with my fair share of psychics. They always seem to be smokers. Smoke cigarettes, smoke cigars. There's something about the aroma of cigarettes or cigars that psychics always seem to be involved in.
Well, you can. I mean, I smoke marijuana. Keeping it real. With the seeds in it though, not the loud. Keeping it real, just being honest. I smoke. It's an herb. It's a herb. I smoke marijuana, and that's just at night. However, I don't know the exact correlation with that, but if you see Papa Legba, you see him smoking. You see go ahead.
I just wanted to say that indigenously, especially here in this landmass, tobacco is always a spiritual plant.
Exactly.
So if we look at, just like stones, and we attribute different spiritual aspects to stones, and people don't have no problem with that, right? They understand, and they're part of the mineral kingdom, which is the oldest kingdom. And then you have the plant kingdom, which is able to, take those particular minerals and make them available or bioavailable for the intake of the human kingdom or the animal kingdom, for that factor. So if it's true for the minerals,
Then why can't it be true?
Then it's true for the plants. So the plant kingdom has that connection to spirituality. So there's something about tobacco in particular, that makes it that much more conducive to people that are, attempting to channel or open up different channels from this world to the next.
But you know what too? You know what is coming to mind? Not only that, but in the spirit realm, our ancient ancestors, they like tobacco in any event. So that might just be a correlation where people are smoking because they have entities that are within them. They invoke the entity of Papa Shango. They invoke the entities of Papa Legba. They invoke the entity of, the Barasamdi. So when you're dealing with the spirit realm, sometimes you tend to take on their energy and then smoke that tobacco. Me personally, I don't smoke tobacco. I never was into tobacco. The only thing that I smoke is the weed, the cannabis, whatever, marijuana, the green with the seeds in it. And that helps me to, it don't help me, but it makes me, mellow. And when I go into the spirit realm, I feel good. It makes me mellow in any event.
If cannabis is what it is advertised as, why don't you think we hear of any deities or entities in particular that, they need that hemp or they need that cannabis to get off? We know about the tobacco, but very rarely do we hear about anything connected with that plant. And they say that plant is so powerful, and they say that plant is quote unquote ancient, but we don't really hear about any particular spiritual systems that employ that plant for for divination purposes.
The reason perhaps is because that information hasn't just been discovered. It's certain information dealing with plants and stuff like that haven't been discovered, or whoever did discover it didn't know what it is and is not putting it out there like that. So it could be many different reasons why. I don't know for sure because that's not my main practice when I go into the spirit realm.
Right. Now, in regards to what it is you do by way of channeling, is this something that you have always done? Is this something that you were born with? Were you made for this? Or is this something that you learned and other people can learn as well? What differentiates you from other people by way of this gift?
Well, as I was explaining earlier, I come from a bloodline of psychics. My mom is psychic. My grandmother is psychic because I'm on my mom's side we Haitian, and then on my father's side, yes, like I said, and then on my father's side we from the Congo. So I got exactly. So I got the best of both worlds. So I got the spirit inside of me dealing with ancestral connection right there. All you have to do is tap into it. The first time, and in my opinion, the first time that I ever seen a spirit was at the age of 13, and I just kept seeing spirits and stuff. I didn't know that it was anything different. I just thought that it was regular. And then when I had spirit talks with myself, because at first I was providing nutritional consultations because I'm into that. I'm a vegan myself. And then as I was doing spirit talk, my spirit kept saying, you got to do something that you are very at ease with, you know. And I started doing it for my family. I started channeling and stuff for my family. And then, you know, I gained the how can I say it? I gained the strength to do it publicly. And I'm ill with it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm ill with it. So in any event, the only difference is that I believe in myself. And if you believe in yourself, then the information will come.
Right. So once again, is this something that we can train other people to do? Do you think that this is something intuitively females in particular might have, you know, that come from these different areas, whether they're coming from the South or they got roots maybe to go to the islands, or that people might come from, you know, particular parts of the continent that are familiarized with these systems? Do you think that inherently our people here have these abilities in them? They just need to be tapped?
Well, if we're speaking about the pineal gland, you know, if we don't have calcified pineal glands, then the source is right there. All you have to do is download, or rather, you know, get into your spiritual zone, or rather get into your higher self. So yes, there is a way where we all, it don't matter if you're a female or a man, or a male. We're all spiritual people as melanated folks. We're all, you know, African people as melanated folks. I'm no different than my ancestors 2,000-3,000 years ago. You understand? So I can't teach it because I was never taught it. It's just within me. I can tell you how I go about it, and like I said, all I do is believe in myself and listen to that inner voice, and listen to the source code that comes within. And then that's how come I'm able to, you know, guide people on their spiritual journey as that. You can do it. Brother Red Pill can do it. Everyone, you know, we all can do it. You know, it's nothing that is outside of ourselves. It's all within. And if people begin to, what I say is, do what is known as that Kundalini meditation, then it can open up. You know, because we are now in the age of the Aquarian age. People are knowing now. People are going into themselves now. I got Christians coming to me. I got pastors coming to me. You get what I'm saying? So they want to tap into that higher self, spiritual self. So it's nothing hard, just as long as you believe. That's it.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yes. So very recently in the news, we got a report out of WikiLeaks that, you know, some of the top tier politicians, you know, are participating in occult magic. You know what I'm saying? And there is a particular routine that they call spirit cooking.
I like that.
Right? And spirit cooking is where this performance artist, she was taking menstrual blood and semen and breast milk, and she makes a concoction.
Black folks?
They weren't.
Like it must be from black folks. Is it from black folks? Was they taking this semen and this menstrual blood and this breast milk? Was they taking it from black folks?
Well, they haven't specified directly who it was coming from, but it's been traced that it's tied to pedophilia rings that are heavily involving Haitian children.
Oh yeah, black folks.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, babies that they're snatching up. So I don't know the full extent in regards to who they're getting these samples from. They might be eating the babies or raping the babies or whatever they're doing with the babies. But this particular artist was utilizing this elixir, okay, as performance art, painting walls and stuff, and pouring blood over the effigies that she creates. They're just going in. You know what I'm saying? And this is being identified as a Crowley and Magic. You know what I'm saying? Magic that adherents of Aleister Crowley's system. They're probably all OTO, dealing with sex magic. So, you know, not only do these particular politicians have connections to the spirit cookers, but they're also showing you where the entertainers have these connections. You know what I'm saying? So in your work, in your realm, or in the other world that you traverse through, dealing with spirit realm, you know, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that there are many high-level people that are dealing with spiritual practices, whether they be occult in nature, or, you know, coming to mediums and channelers and things of that nature? Like, is this really how the world is run?
I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. I believe that this kind of stuff been happening for a very long time. Mixing up the menstrual blood is a very, very powerful and sacred practice here. You know, you're dealing with the woman, you're dealing with the womb. So anytime you want to combat anything or have any type of control, you want to deal with that menstrual blood. So in any event, you heard one time, don't eat that person's spaghetti. It might have some blood in there. Catch you and tie you, and you'll be walking straight for the rest of your life. So in any event, if we dealing with the politicians and we dealing with people, you know, the rappers or whoever, the musicians or entertainers, they're trying to catch you, or they're trying to have what is known as a mind control on the psyche. That's all it is, in my opinion. Just from what you just saying, and just from the information that I know about even semen. You know, semen, that's creation. So what are you really creating? What are they trying to give birth to? You get what I'm saying? You have semen and you have menstrual blood coming from both reproductive systems. What are you trying to create? Are you trying to create a demonic energy or image on black folks, or mainly black folks, because the war is against us. So again, if you know the signs, then you're able to, you know, combat that. Yeah, spiritually.
Now, they say as above, so below.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So being that in this physical realm that we all occupy, you know what I mean, we see that there, like we said, it's a relentless engagement against melanated people. So would one have to conclude from that there's also a war on a spiritual plane that's taking place that is just trickling down to the physical? And if so, one, how could we identify it? And two, how could we combat it?
The war is spiritual. That's the war. This is a spiritual warfare that is going on with us. The war is on the psyche. The war is on the black babies. The war is, you know, on us themselves, because white folks know that it's their time. You know, they're about to get up out this planet. Mother Earth is going through what is known as a detox and getting these people out of here. That's the reason why they're going crazy like this. They're doing that blood stuff. Trump going crazy, saying whatever he want to do. Racism is on a high, because they know that at the end of the day, the gods is coming back. So in terms of the question that you asked, how can you fight it or combat it? You got to eat right. You got to watch what you're watching. You know, in your psyche, you got to watch the people that you're around. You got to watch, you know, the language that you speak. You know, and all of those things will help your spiritual vibration, or rather your internal universe, to uprise or rise from the madness. In my opinion, if you want to rise spiritually, you got to deal with that first.
Well, you know, I done been around the best of them. Damn, I done been around the best as far. Yeah, something in the chair. I mean, I done interviewed Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Jude Pukram. I done dealt with some powerful psychics. I mean, you talk about spirituality, I done been around them. Right now, I see when I go to try to research things or get books, or I go on YouTube to do some research, I see white people dropping some shit. And in my mind, the first thing I think about is, I always hear the black teachers say, you know, you need a certain amount of melanin, or I hear you mention melanin right now, or black people. Why does it seem as though these white people are tapping into some powerful shit more so than I see some of the brothers and sisters on YouTube? And I'm just using YouTube as a reference because it generates over 1 billion views a month worldwide. But it seems as though, regardless of their lack of melanin, I'm seeing white people drop some heavy duty shit dealing with spirituality on the internet. And then when I go to look for black people, I don't see it as much. So explain that's kind of weird right there.
Well, you got to understand, they're trying to survive. So they have to do the research because they believe. Belief is not real. Belief is just your perception. They want to believe that they will, be here till death do us part, or they'll be here till the end of the world. That's why they're tapping into our science, because they believe that, this is what it is. This is the ancient text. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do to survive. Now, the good thing about it is, if a white person says it, then black folks will believe it. So they actually doing us a favor. I listen to some white folks because they be dropping some knowledge. They drop a lot of stuff. I don't discriminate against. I have learned not to discriminate against the face, because the message is valuable. You get what I'm saying? White folks is going in, doing all types of research, going into the tombs, because they're privileged enough to do that. They can do that, and it also deals with money. They have access to this kind of stuff, in any event. Just like the movie, what's the movie that the nation, the birth of nation, when she had the library, and then the little boy went to go touch it. She said, no, you can't touch that. That's for white. That's for us. You don't understand that. This is what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying?
That's like if they got invited to lectures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that's like if they got invited to lectures for 50 years, to all of these lectures that we go to, and everybody else was shut out. They would come forward with resources. They would come forward on higher levels. So yeah, that's what happened.
And then too, you know what it is too? White folks value our stuff. So it's more meaningful to it. They love it. They love the black sister, the dark skinned sister. They love the chocolate man. It's more valuable instead of, because exactly, primary source. So that's why they're the one putting the information out there like that, because black folks, we waking up now, but we're in transition. That's what.
You spoke on belief. You spoke on it earlier, then you just spoke on it dealing with this particular question. I want you to, to define belief, whereas is there, power in belief? Because we say that, what we need is belief. We say that what we need is faith in order to make these particular things work. And then we say that belief is illusional.
It's an
you know what I'm
illusion.
saying?
That's what I was just about to say.
Right. So is there power in tricking ourselves? You know what I'm saying?
It's all on the mind. You get what I'm saying? It's all on the mind. Belief because I'm a Pisces, and our key word is I believe, right? And as one of my elders said, if you see a fire outside, don't panic. If you do not believe that there's a fire outside, then that is not your reality. Belief is based on what you feel to be true. If you feel like if you believe in the Bible, then guess what? That Bible is true. Even though we know that the Bible may not be so conducive to black folks. But if you believe it, you feel it, then this is what is known to be true. Now, I know is a difference. That's why we're in the Aquarian age. Now people are knowing, like, oh shit, nah, this is not real. The Bible, what? This is us. You get what I'm saying? They're not believing that it's somebody outside of themselves. Belief is an illusion. That's why they say these dreamy Pisces. They always believe in, we're always in fantasy world because we believe it, and it's a form of escapism, and we feel good. That's it.
Now, when the brother was asking about channeling earlier, the stuff that I see on YouTube is I see a lot of Europeans with the alien channeling. Right. They say they're tapping into Pleiades. Yeah. And, I've listened to some of these transmissions. The information be on point.
Yeah.
And I don't want to dare say prophecy, but it's like, I don't know what book they're reading from or what playbook, but I'm like, yo, that stuff that they dropped was on time, because 2 or 3 months later, you'll see, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You'll see this stuff coming out. You feel me? So what are your thoughts on that in terms of, in your experiences, do you believe that these people might be channeling from different
and
entities?
Just add on the blues question, because that's a good question. And do these energies that they tapping into, do they discriminate? Because if we on our nigga shit and we not tapping into it, they like, fuck it, we might as well. Is that what that's what we're witnessing?
But because these white folks believe in the source code within them. Once you believe in the source code within you, your intern, you're gonna align yourself with your higher vibration. You see, you're gonna align yourself. Every time. You know, my spirit talk, I always say I am in perfect alignment with what the universal creator has for me. So if you are in perfect alignment with this information, with this knowledge, you have to understand this is a universal shift. So if you aligning yourself with channeling some ET extraterrestrial, guess what? That's what's going to happen. You understand? It's all about manifestation. And the subconscious mind, it don't discriminate if you're white and you're black. But then again, they might, take a little longer, or they might have to go into it a little deeper and stronger because they don't have what is known as that melanin secreting from the pineal gland, which is related to that subconscious mind in any event. But if that subconscious mind is open to the ET, I got a lot of sisters, which is my friends, that used to be scared of the spirit realm, and they're no longer scared. So the subconscious mind is open. So now they're having these prophetic dreams. My Scorpion sister, Magella, you was right. Yeah, I'm tapping into my father. He made the transit. You get what I'm saying?
Black magic matters.
Black magic matters. So, yes, again, it's all about vibration. It's all about energy. It's all about perfect alignment. It's all about believing, rather you white or you black. But black folks, it's more easier for us because you have to understand we're dealing with Mother Universe, the cosmic, entity, which is black. So it's easier for us to tap into that compared to white folks.
One of the things that, and me, Blue and Red, we kind of got into this, had a conversation with Baba Heru, that's the name, right? Yeah, Baba Heru, about as far as the elders and what the elders have taught us. And one of the things, just to touch on the movie, one of the things that was touched on in Doctor Strange, the Ancient One, the one that was known as the Ancient One, was telling Doctor Strange when he was trying to learn the magic, she was telling him, you think too little of yourself. He was, trying to be all meek and humble, and she was like, you think too little of yourself if you think you can't do this. One of the things in coming up that I noticed the elders try to pass down to the youth was to be humble. And sometimes when you be humble, it's like you limit your powers. And it got to the point where I had to be extremely cocky and arrogant with myself to get where I'm at now. I had to say, fuck all that shit they was telling me to be. I'm being to this or be to that. And I had to be extremely arrogant within myself to reach a certain level. So what do you think about in terms of spirituality and humility?
Well, you bust out your shell. You get what I'm saying? You was in the shell. You was in the nutshell. You was, your mother told you no. She cast a spell on you. She told you, no, you can't believe in this. No, this is not good. This is like religion. No. So that shelters you, right? They say between the ages of 1 to 7, those is the most, molding age. So between those times, if you're not taught to, be yourself or have this imaginary, childlike spirit of yours, you're not going to believe in this stuff. You get what I'm saying? You're not going to believe in this stuff until somebody tells you, yo, nah, you're bigger than that. I always used to tell my Scorpion sister, yo, you a Scorpio. You have you're very intuitive. You listen to your dreams. Now, this was like 4 years ago. Now she's like, yeah, you right. Yeah, you let's talk about something else now. You understand? Like, I've been told you to do this. Right. Level up now. So in any event, people are now busting out of their shells. And as I told one of a client not too long ago, I said, we have so many different entities within ourselves that wants to come out and be creative. Sometimes we feel like being a magician. Sometimes we feel like being an herbalist. Sometimes we feel like being, different types of characteristics within ourselves. It is now time for us to, get to it in any event.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent response.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There's a level in our community of hypersexuality.
Yeah.
There's also a level of abuse, right, that our sisters have been undergoing, which, you know, some people will step back and be like, yo, that sister bugging, is she possessed or something? You know what I'm saying? What can be done for the people who are walking around and have become, you know, like storehouses for all sorts of entities and energies and spirits, what have you, disagreeables? They literally become walk-ins based on the trauma and things that they've been through. You know what I'm saying? And these are pretty much how people are assessing our people at this point. You know what I mean? They're looking at the women and they're like, look, you know, she don't deserve my respect. That bitch crazy.
Yeah, she crazy.
You know what I'm saying? She needs to be put in her place and X, Y, and Z and this, that, and the other. So it's creating a level of aggression towards the opposite sexes and things of that nature. So what is it that you would suggest for somebody that might be possessed? You know what I'm saying? That might have these walk-ins and not even know it. Or a society or culture that, you know what I'm saying, is promoting these behaviors as normal behavior. And this has become the template that other people are looking towards, you know what I'm saying, replicating and following.
Well, I feel like, because I get a lot of clients like that too, that's been, you know, molested by their father, raped by their father, raped by the church people. The first thing to getting out of this is healing. You got to heal yourself. You know, when you go to like a drug program and they said the first counseling and stuff like that, and they said the first thing to the next step is to not forgive, but accept or admit that you have an issue, that you have a problem. You have to admit first that you have a problem, and you have to want to be healed. And then, you know, if people do this on a collective level, then the vibration of relationships will then come to a more harmonic level. People, and you said, you know, you mentioned, you know, a guy looking at a sister and is like, oh, you know, she's crazy or whatever the situation is. Now, if you calling her crazy, you're crazy too, because you are just projecting whatever it is inside of yourself. She's not crazy. Why are you calling her crazy? You must be crazy too, because it must be some type of craziness that's happening. Because people that are happy, they don't have evil inside of them. People that are happy do not have anger inside of them. So if you're happy, then all you're going to do is project happiness, and you also see that this other person that is a reflection of you is happy. So therefore, say that again. You see the best of them. So if you say, oh yeah, that bitch crazy. Yeah, nigga, you crazy too then. What's going on inside of you that you crazy? Do you have a good relationship with your mother? Do you have a good relationship with your father? Have you healed from not having a father? You understand? So in any event, I feel like people have to first figure out or admit that they have issues. Then when they admit that they have issue, don't be too proud to go out and get help. And then collectively, we will be on another dimension as brothers and sisters or lovers or whoever.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Because you mentioned the word lovers, and then you also mentioned, you know, the power of magnetism, meaning that attraction is a form of magnetism. They talked about that in The Secret. And when you encounter someone who is attracted to you, it means that you're pulling them into your universe, into your sphere. You know what I mean? You're pulling them in with your magnetism. So the best relationships are ones where you're able to pull the best out of a man. You understand? Because we exist as two selves. We all obey the law of duality, like Blue Pill said so excellently. Show me somebody who doesn't have a shadow. All of us have a shadow self. if we don't want to admit it, that's just, you know, that's where that person is. But, you know, that's what it is. So what do you say to the brothers and sisters that are out there who may have natural strong attractions to the opposite sex, you know what I mean? But they might not be able to copulate or have intercourse. Maybe they're in a relationship, you know what I mean? Maybe they're celibate, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they just don't, maybe they're nursing that yoni egg. Okay?
No.
Maybe they're nursing the yoni egg. They don't want to get the egg scrambled.
They don't want to get the egg scrambled. I don't blame them.
Is there power? Is there creative healing and manifestation power in attraction? And how do you channel that, and how do you work on that without crossing that line? Okay.
How do you work on manifesting? Say the question again. How do you work on?
How do you use attraction to manifest? Meaning that if you're divinely attracted to a god, right? And yes, there's sexual attraction. It is strong. There's a magnetism. Both of your bodies want to join and come together and be that one, because there may be some completion in that. But how do you utilize that magic that picks? You know what I mean? It's that pull of that attraction to create. So. Without crossing the line to get physical. Yeah, because when you do that, to add on, when you do, that is where the gamble takes place. That's the rolling of the dice. That's when it can either go south or it either could go north. That's when it can explode, big bang. Things could start creating out of nowhere. You know, all of your dreams come true. You've entered this blissfulness. When he sent you up, you know what I mean? You were there on the throne. Watch, right? So what I'm saying is, before you make, that's what courting was. That's what harems were. And I'm not using it in the sense that, you know, I'm justifying harem usage. I'm saying that there were sciences that were being applied to these sacred places. And it was a sacred act of courting. And in that courting, you utilize the attraction to create or to make things manifest. So we live in a social media world. Everybody's looking at each other. Everyone's following each other. Everyone has an attraction towards each other. I have on my Instagram, you know what I'm saying? I got my motivational crew. You feel me? I just go scrolling on their lines, and it makes me more powerful because there's an attraction. So how do you use that attraction to create rather than self-destruct? Because some people self-destruct themselves. Some people don't know how to utilize that energy, and they begin to, you know what I mean? Burn up.
Listen, let me tell you something. You just got to go with the flow. Because if you are in perfect alignment with what the universal creator has for you, then the energy that you attract out is what you're going to get. If this particular brother is for you, or if this particular sister is for you, then she will. And if she's in perfect alignment with, then it's going to mesh. It's going to happen. The union is going to happen. You want to say something too? But wait, before you say something, I also want to say, before we reincarnated onto this particular dimension, right? We agreed to every single thing that will be happening. This included, I agreed on this day that I'll be having this interview, spreading the knowledge with the twin pillars, and this, brother Rich right here. So if it's meant to be, it will be. And if you are in perfect alignment with that energy, and you know that you are a God, it's how do you use it? You just let it be. In my opinion, you just let it flow, and it will come.
I could set a shrine up to my IG crushes. I could set an altar up for my IG crushes, and I shall have all of my IG crushes. Is this what you're telling me?
I don't. You don't want all of your IG crushes, because I'm gonna keep it real. You don't want all your IG crushes, because all your IG crushes may not be compatible with you. Like, I don't want all of my IG crushes or Facebook crushes, because some of them niggas, I don't know about them. You get what I'm saying? But in any event, a crush is just an attraction. You know, you see a beautiful. In my opinion, I feel like people are more so attracted to someone's spirit.
I was about to say, okay.
And
that's
it's the spirit.
Right. How to use that attraction.
No, not only that, how does one discern going, you know what I'm saying, taking attraction to another level? Because like you said, you see things that you might agree with, but you got to observe from a distance. Because the closer that you get, you like, oh, this nigga life crazy.
Yeah.
This might not be, you know what I'm saying, compatible with the sanctity of my spirit. So for our people out there, because social media is so new and we don't have these discussions, you know what I'm saying? And I've been in some volatile situations, you know what I'm saying? Catfished and all that shit, basically.
Stop. Niggas be catfishing. No, niggas be catfishing. Yo, I'm about to put up a picture, a man on my profile picture, because I want to catfish people, because I need people to love me for who I am. I don't need people to love me for my face or my beauty or whatever. That's not what it's about. You understand? And as you said, once you start to get more into somebody's lifestyle, you like, oh, this, but I feel like in any event, it's an experience. You know what I'm saying? It's an experience. It's a lesson. Now you know not to, use your energy to try to get something of lower vibration. It's just an experience. You live and you learn. That's why we've been reincarnated, or that's why we're learning these particular, lessons, so that we can elevate ourselves and we can learn from it. And if you don't learn from it, you're going to have to repeat it again.
So I just wanted to just finish that thought. Excellent points made. I just want to know, how do we use that energy that the brother's talking about, that attraction, before we waste it? What would be your message for the thousands of women out there, the thousands of brothers out there? Because this was case in point. This was a ritual that I used to do. I would have images of beautiful video vixens when I was working out. You understand? In all of their splendor. Now, when I'm working out, I'm envisioning, you know what I'm saying, being with these women.
Yes.
I'm envisioning impressing these women. I'm envisioning them giving me that oil rub down.
Right. Stop. That's your brother.
Yes.
That's your brother.
Facts. And that was my motivation.
Right.
And all is mental, and I was able to scope. I was able to body scope. I was able to put myself into the shape that I wanted it to be in, based off of my mind. And that drive that I was getting from my root chakra and going all up, like you're talking about, Kundalini rising, was based off of the natural attraction that I had for these women. And I was able to fight my lower self by doing what? As I'm working out, I'm still thinking of things that I also want to manifest in my mind. And as a Scorpion, we know how to take what? Base metal and turn it into gold. So when it's time that it's hypersexualized, especially with social media, like Blue said, they didn't come with instruction manuals. All right?
So remember when I spoke to, when I mentioned about I believed? You believed that this is what you was going to manifest. You believed all this, so it was true to you. So as a result, it might have manifested in that, in your particular situation. But in terms of the question that you asked, how do you just use that energy to, create or not even cross that line so that you can waste it? That's what you asked. The energy, how can you preserve that energy in any event?
Go through our everyday lives with the law, with the fact that we're attracted, the law of magnetism, the law of attraction. How do we go through our everyday lives and take base metal and turn it into gold? How could we step outside in billboards and all of the advertising, it's all around us, is hypersexualized. All I want to know is, what are some of the steps that one can take to center oneself and to utilize our higher selves to create rather than destroy.
In my opinion, it's all about discipline. If you have discipline, and you know what you want, and you, first of all, if you believe that you are, a god in any event, you're not gonna be looking at all of these different women on a sexual level. Or you that's not even on your radar. You understand? That's not even on you. You don't care how many chicks come through with big butts and you don't care about all of that. So you're preserving your own energy for the one that is for you, that you're aligning yourself with. So and then clack. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, how do I use this? You use it by just believing in yourself and just having that discipline. We are in the era of everything is out, chicks is twerking and stuff like that. And as a matter of fact, I read an article about twerking is sacred. Twerking may just be sacred. Why? Because in the motherland, we don't got big hips and big butts for nothing. We need to shake, but in a sexual way, the way some of these females and these sisters are doing it, no. In a more sacred way, for your man or your mate, you want to dance, you want to do all of that, yes.
We are no longer in sacred space. So the majority of everything that you see come from us is going to be bastardized to a degree based on, like you said, the hypersexual environment that we live in. You know what I'm saying? So at the core, we might be able to identify that and say that's, that comes from something that was sacred to us. But, you know what I'm saying? Without that level of understanding of exactly what you being sacred for, then it becomes somewhat profane to a degree, but it's still magic. Because they're still creating orgone energy. You know what I'm saying? And like the brother said, I could just I'll be on my last set and I can't get it up. If I see one of those pictures, if I see that imagery, the orgone energy, you know what I'm saying? It's something that I could tap into in real time, and it gives me strength. It gives me power. Because ultimately, right, at the most gross level of who I am, I know that that's life. And I know that sexual energy is based on, you know what I'm saying, creation.
That's right.
So I'm not, you know what I mean? And when I say profane, I'm just saying the aspect of, the sisters might be intently expressing a level of sexuality, you feel me? That just might be underneath the base of what it is we understand to be quote unquote sacred.
That was beautifully said, but I want to close it out with saying perhaps we collectively is on this sexual vibe thing because it's now time for us to procreate and the new generation have to come in. So instead of people resonating on the higher frequency, we're more so resonating on the lower frequency because we eating that garbage. So therefore we're on that sexual slut type of energy. But in any event, the slut energy could be good. The slut energy could be good if you are procreating with your mate, your one mate, and bringing about these newborn babies. That's going to be these because crystal star seeds. Okay, it's time to bring about these star seeds.
When I see the women that people might designate and say, those are stats, or those is this, the stripper booty and this, that, and the other, when you look at their hips, when you look at the you know what I mean? The shape of their bodies, the sacred geometry of these sisters and their vessels, you like, okay, you could definitely see that they came to bring forth gods and goddesses.
That's right.
They're formatted and retrofitted for it. Right. So, I definitely want to say thank you for this experience. Yeah. We are definitely going to have to continue this part 2. Yeah. You know what I mean? Family, y'all asked for her, so she's back. All right? And we're going to make sure that we bring her back again. And so we can conclude this conversation. Yeah. Please leave your contacts for the family.
Okay, so Ella Samory, you can email me at samory'shealing@gmail.com, SAMORYS healing, HEALING, for a session, for a spiritual session in any event. I'm on Facebook at Ella Samory, which is very, short, Ella, ELLA, Samory. My website is samoryherbs.com. Samory, SAM like mom, ORY like Yamaya, Samory's healing at gmail.com. And you'll put it in the text in the description. So I thank you, family. Be safe, be in tune with yourself. Make sure you cop that Red Pill CD because it's hot. And one love.
Hold on one second. TwinPillars.bandcamp, family. It's where you can find the album Scorpion King. It is available now. TwinPillars.bandcamp. Peace, love, and light.
Peace, family. This brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figure since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I could ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.
I'm on 100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the fence. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 We feeling the urge, feeling the purge. Buzzers electric, we feeling the surge, feeling the word.